So, hi again, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. I am back. It's been a nice 2 to 3 week break for myself. So, been a little bit quiet over the last couple of weeks on the old social media. Hope you're all doing well. My name is John Lunn, aka Jonnychipz, and this is Jonnychipz Weekly. It is Friday, the 9th of September, 2022, and this is episode number 87. I am back. Let's get into it. So, yes, hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. It's a Friday lunchtime over here in the UK. Hope you've all had a fantastic few weeks in work, actually. I've been off for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I'll get a little bit more into that on Jonnychipz on the side in a second. But look, without further ado, I'm not going to change the format of this week's show. We've got a lot to catch up on. Lots have been going on in the community over the last few weeks. Lots of Azure updates, news and updates to get through as well today. So, yeah, let's get into it then. We'll start off with a few community callouts. Okay, so first up, it would be amiss of me to kind of raise the point to to kind of point out we've had a very sad day. Queen Elizabeth died yesterday. Put up this tweet as many of us have already done. I felt it poignant to point out because, like most of us, we obviously didn't know the Queen on a personal level, but I think when the news broke yesterday of her death, it was this profound kind of sense of loss. So, I'm sure like the majority of the country and globally, people are feeling this sad news. So, quite a poignant tweet that I put out about it yesterday. It's a very sad day, and I thought I would start this week's episode with just paying my respects to the Queen. I'm not a royalist as such. I don't mind the royal family. I've got no problems with the royal family. But like I say, certainly when that news broke, there was a sense of loss, personal loss, that I'm sure many of us probably felt as well. And it strikes the memories of the Queen's speech at Christmas time. It's one of those staple parts of your life. What it means to be British and all of that good stuff. So, sad day. And I thought I would just start this episode on that sad note, just to kind of, in some way, pay my respects and just raise the point that, like many of us, we probably don't vocalize it, but when things like this happen, it is that sense of loss, and just to say thank you, and thank you for the Queen's service to our country. More than anything, it's a difficult thing to put into words, I guess, for a lot of people. So, how this unfolds over the coming days, weeks, and months for the country, and what that means for the country, we'll obviously learn to understand how that all unfolds. But for now, thank you to the Queen, and it's a sad day. So, on that note, we'll move on. We'll move on to some community callouts. Let's get into that then. Okay, so first up, had the pleasure of catching an IoT live show this week where Pete, Cliff, and Maria Anastasia were talking through lots of different IoT bits and pieces, but one in particular caught my eye, that Pete has been tasked with seeing if he can get Octoprint running on one of these WIO terminals, or re-terminals, apologies, from Seed Studio, which I think he's having a really good crack at. So running, for those of you that don't know what Octoprint is, it's effectively a print management solution for a 3D printer. That I've got it running on a little Raspberry Pi that sits next to my 3D printer by the side of me, and it just helps you kind of upload, visualize, and print files remotely, essentially, to a little print server, rather than having to, take your G code off onto a little memory stick and plug it into your printer and print it from there. So it's a great little solution if you've got a 3D printer. And yeah, it's really brought these re-terminals, these Seed Studio has been on my radar to look at some of the gadgets and gizmos for a long time. But yeah, if you're interested, Pete is actually doing a live blog. So as he's working through the process of getting Octoprint up and running on that re-terminal, he's actually live blogging it and showing you the approach that he's taking, what he's trying, how he's doing it. So I'd suggest you go and follow that. Go and follow Pete Codes. So Pete Gallagher on Twitter, Pete_Codes. Or you can see I'm on the Seed Studio Twitter feed here, where they've retweeted that live blog out. So, yep, I'm going to be keeping an eye on that with my BDI. Good luck, Pete, and yeah, great live blogging. Okay, next up, GPS Gwyneth Pena Seguenza has this caught my eye because really, I'm not a software developer. I'm not a developer as such, but certainly some of the tools, features, mechanisms, methodologies of developing on Azure, and certainly around the serverless architecture using some of the serverless functionality and features of Azure, is something that I am slowly learning more and more about, and I like to try and keep my eye on it and learn little bits here and there when I can, just to kind of keep my ear to the ground, so to speak. Now, GPS is she's part of the Reactor, works for Microsoft, part of the Reactor over in North America, and she's released a 12-part series, really helping us understand how we can build a straightforward toll booth app using the serverless architecture. So first and foremost, go and check that out. So it's on the Reactor, the Microsoft Reactor YouTube channel, but you can see Gwyneth has put together a whole heap of videos there talking us through how we can get started with building this toll booth app, what the serverless architecture is all about, how do we get our local development environment set up correctly, looking at using serverless functions locally, and then looking to provision things into the Azure portal, so on and so forth. There's a whole heap of information there. And it doesn't stop there. Once you've kind of worked through that series, you've got the opportunity to submit it to Serverless September, which is another feature, event, thing. I can't think of the word. It's another thing that you can be part of in the community. There's a GitHub page here that GPS has put together, and you can join this hack. There's some more information and more sessions that you can get involved with throughout September. But fundamentally, you can submit your solution, if I can find it. You can submit your solution to this event and, be up there, get your name up there, get in the Hall of Fame. So really a nice, neat little way of getting your hands dirty with serverless architecture in Azure, which I thought was a really cracking idea and really well put together. So thank you, Gunnar, for that. If I can find the time, I will very much be working my way through those and seeing if I can pull the fragments of knowledge that I have to date together and bolster it with some more of this information. So thank you very much. Next up, this caught my eye yesterday. Chris Reddington, always Cloud with Chris. If you've not subscribed to Cloud with Chris, which is Chris's YouTube channel, please do go and do that straight away. Again, in the theme of software architecture, software development. I'm not a developer, but I like to try and keep my hand in and understand at least some of the concepts. So Chris is always, he's done a lot of videos, a lot of information around design patterns, anti-patterns when it comes to software development, especially on a cloud platform. And he was joined by John Kilmister. John is another great guy in the community. If you've not met John or spoken with John, go and look him up on YouTube, on Twitters. So he's at John Kilmister. He's a great software developer. He's been on the Welsh Azure user group. I've had him on the In Convo With series. And Chris and John are really talking through, what tools are available for software architecture, and, really going into how you use them, what they're used for, kinds of ways and means around it. A great video. I didn't manage to watch it all, but I got through about half of it before I had to go off and do something with the family. But I'm going to catch up on the rest of that video. Do go and check that out. It's up on Chris's YouTube channel, or it's here available on Twitter if you go and follow Chris at Redo Bowen on the Twitters. So thank you for that, guys. That was a great session. The news I think we all wait for in the cloud community, especially the tech community, is every year we have organised by Gregor, Richard Hooper, and I believe Keith Atherton is involved now as well with helping organise this year's Festive Tech calendar. So Gregor put this tweet out the other day. The call for speakers is open. I very much want to be a part of that. I just got to think of something that I'm going to submit. But if you're interested, it's a fantastic event every December. The Festive Tech calendar, as the name suggests, is all about tech, and it can be a tech talk, a blog article. I believe last year they went for primarily videos or live sessions. but anything to do with the whole stack in tech. So, if you've got something to say, it doesn't have to be a serious tech talk. It can be, something fun, something inclusive, something interesting, a quiz, song, a dance, whatever it might be. Get involved. It's such a great event. Every day in December, there will be a whole myriad of content coming out. So, yeah, looking forward to that. That's always a great month. Looking forward to seeing the content that comes out from the tech calendar. So, thank you for that, guys. And yeah, look forward to it. Next up, quick shout out to the Azure User Group Sweden, which Jonah is part of the organising team there. Their next event is on September the 10th, where they've got Christina Dev Ocheko. Really sorry, Christina, for completely annihilating your surname there. I'm just not with it. It's a Friday morning. So apologies for not pronouncing your surname correctly there. But they've got Christina on the 10th of September, deploying microservices with AKS, to AKS rather, with Azure DevOps environments and multi-stage Azure pipeline. So it's an area I've been getting more and more involved with as of late, as it happens. So that caught my eye because it's it's always a great session. There's always a massive amount to learn and understand when it comes to using ADO pipelines. There's always some great things that you can do with it. So if you are interested, go and save the date. That's tomorrow. So Central European time is 12. So I believe that'll be 11 o'clock British summertime, standard time, tomorrow. So go and get yourself signed up for that. As I suggested, IoT Live is back. So if you've not been part of IoT Live or understand what IoT Live is, it's a show that Pete Gallagher, Cliff Agius, Maria Anastasia have been running for quite a while now, actually. Certainly the last couple of years. So they're back. They took a little bit of a hiatus over the summer, as a lot of us did. And they're back. So like I said earlier on, Pete was talking about the Octoprint project that he's working on with the Seed Studio re-terminal. It's a fantastic show. Really enjoy watching it. Please do, if you're interested in IoT or you want to learn more, there's no better people to learn it from than the people there. So go and check that out. Go and find them on the Twitters, IoT as in cup of tea live on Twitter, and go and check it out. Next up, just a big shout out to Shabazz and the Leeds Digital Festival. So as I understand it, Shabazz is teaming up with the company that he works for, which is Netcompany, and he's delivering a Leeds Digital Festival, and he's doing a Back to the Future podcast. He's got a few guests on there. He's got Michael, Lisa, and April on that event. The website link is there. Thursday, the September the 22nd, starting at 5:30 BST, and it's for good hour session there, talking through lots of things with, like I say, April, Lisa, and Michael. So go and check that out. It is an in-person event by the looks of it, which is even cooler. So I don't think I'll be able to reach that in person. I'm not sure if they're doing a stream from that either. This will be a physical event. You'll have the opportunity to meet guests. So I'm not sure if there is a stream on that one. But look, if you're in the area of the Netcompany offices, go and get yourselves involved. So thanks for that, Shabazz. Next up also, Christina is back on the Azure Cloud Native Meetup, which again is, it's on the 20th of September. This time talking about AKS and a survival pack. So what to consider before going all in with Azure Kubernetes Service. Christina is back on that one as well. So great to see. Go and check that out. Save the date. Put it in your diary. RSVP to the Meetup group. Go follow Carl. So Carl_IT Nerd for the links. And looking forward to those sessions. And finally, just wanted to call out, it is September, so it's Azure Back to School. So again, another incentive, I guess, over the last few years, this time from Dwayne. I know Derek Smith is helping Dwayne organise this year's events as well. So through the month of September, there's an Azure Back to School event, which basically is around, teaching people something about technology. If you want to go and check that out, head on over to azureback2school.github.io. You can see I've just clicked on the session list here, and there's a whole heap of sessions on there. So there's lots of familiar names from the community. Keith is talking about preparing for Microsoft certs. Martin Coupland is talking about building a scalable multi-tenant cloud native application. Jonah Anderson is in there. Like I say, there's a lot of familiar names from the community. Ryan Mangum, Neil McLaughlin, Matthew Alford. Go and check that out. Have a little scan through. Get yourself signed up and bookmark some of the sessions that are of interest to you. And take a look at that content, because it's always fantastic content from these people in the community. So for now, let's head back on over. Okay, so that was the community callouts for this week. Without further ado, let's jump straight back on over and take a look at what's going on in the world of the Welsh Azure user group. Okay, first up, our next session is on the 21st of September. So we've got two fantastic speakers again, with Victor Hedberg on talking about tiering in Azure and how it should be done. So, how do we organize our resources and configurations in Azure to cover lots of things like governance, security, all of those good things. So Victor's going to come on and talk to us about the basics of tiering, what it means, how we can apply a tiering model over our cloud infrastructure to make sure that, obviously there's that security is kept in mind, and any compliance issues and things like that are paramount for the companies that we're doing this for. And our second speaker is Joe Plum. So he's a Microsoft CSA. He's coming on to talk to us all around Azure Data Factory and triggers in Azure Data Factory with the session Trigger Warning, Azure Data Factory ahead. It'll be a demo-heavy overview of Data Factory and the different types of triggers available to us for our data pipeline. So really excited to see those two sessions. Like I say, please head on over to the Meetup group, RSVP, get yourself signed up for it. That would be appreciated. And like anything, if you've missed any of the Welsh Azure user group sessions, head on over to the playlist, which is below. You can see we've got all the sessions in there. We've got last month's session in there with Rolford D. We go right the way back. And like I say, this is actually our 2-year anniversary session. So, really looking forward to that. That's in a couple of weeks' time. Please do go and get yourselves RSVP'd, and we'll see you there. Okie dokie, we're motoring through. So, look, the final part of the sessions like this I just want to talk through is my section around Jonnychipz on the side. So let's get into that in a minute. There's a few things going on I just wanted to call out and let you know what's happening. So yeah, first off, I've been away for the last two to 3 weeks. Actually, been away in Canada. I put this tweet up the other day. It's been a fantastic couple of weeks. I didn't do any videos, didn't do any tech, literally didn't have a laptop. I had my phone with me. It was with the family, actually taking my son out to his new life over in Canada for the next couple of years, which was a bit of an emotional journey for me and my family. But we managed to pack in a lot that week, and all I can say is, wow, what a fantastic place. It's my first visit to Canada, so did the whole touristy thing, flew to Toronto, drove down to Niagara Falls, stopped along the way, stayed a couple of nights down there, drove back up to Toronto and onwards to where my son was staying, and, kind of did the whole loop around Lake Ontario almost. I can't stress how, it was absolutely fantastic. I think I got a couple of photos here. Yeah, in Toronto. That was actually when we were on our way back to the airport. Just took a quick picture of one of the skylines there. So it's I think it's fair to say I had a fantastic time. Managed to switch off from tech for a good couple of weeks. Like I say, there was lots of things going on with dropping my son off, which is a great opportunity for him. So really great trip at the end of the day. So that's what I've been up to for the last couple of weeks. What else have we got going on? Microsoft Ignite. The registrations are now open. So if you're interested, October the 12th to the 14th, the Ignite registrations are open. Go and get yourself signed up. They're actually doing an in-person event, which is limited capacity in Seattle this year. They've also got spotlight sessions around the globe as well. Obviously, me being in the UK, and I can't make it out that weekend to Seattle. Unfortunately, I would love to have gone, of course. But I'm going to be signing up for the UK event, which I believe is being held up in Manchester. When you register, it'll give you the details of that. And there's also a digital event. So if you can't make any of the in-person events, you can obviously take part and get involved remotely from the comfort of your own home, so to speak. So I suggest you go and get yourselves registered. It's a fantastic event always. It's great to see the in-persons coming back. Fingers crossed this time next year, I'll be able to get out to the actual, I'm assuming they may do a full-blown event over in North America, like has been the trend over the last few years. Or they may stick with the spotlight session. So either way, looking forward to this year's event and for what's to come. Okay, today we've got episode 9 of When Dev Meets Ops is going out live stream from 5 p.m. BST today. If you've not followed along with that series, architecting and building a cloud-native e-commerce solution. So it's a shopping cart, that kind of solution. Using cloud-native technologies on a cloud platform. And we're really digging into lots of different tooling, methodologies, ways and means of coding and developing and testing. So join us 5 p.m. today at BST. That's always a great set of videos to go back through if you've got the time. Robbie and Swarmy are absolutely fantastic. Great working with the guys through this series, and there's lots more to come. So yeah, episode 9 is out tonight. Go and get yourselves RSVP'd on the Meetup page if you can. Yes, okay, Microsoft UK tweeted this out. I'm taking part in a Microsoft Tech Day event, putting the ops into DevOps on the 20th of September at 2 p.m. in the afternoon BST. It'll be a 2 or 3 hour event where myself, April Edwards, Barbara Forbes and Esther Bartel are all talking different sections, but fundamentally going towards building up that picture of, how does that traditional sysadmin, that IT pro, that IT operations person get involved with DevOps? How can we start to use some of this tooling, and how can we break it down in the most simplistic terms to kind of get us on our journeys to using those kinds of technologies to make our day jobs a little bit easier. So yeah, looking forward to that. That is the 20th of September. And well, to go along with that, this actually made me laugh. April tweeted this out. This is a quick snap from the video me and April did on that a week or two ago, well, 2 weeks ago actually now, a little bit longer. So caption competition, and this made me laugh. So every morning, one of the sysadmins RDPs into the box, RDPs into this box to check the task schedule, all right? And April is trying to keep herself calm. But made me chuckle. The other thing, I got a lot of flack for not having stickers on my laptop. And do you know what? My previous laptop was worse than April's, and I took the conscious decision that this is a work laptop, the one in that picture. So I deliberately not put stickers on that one. So didn't realize how much flack I was going to get. So clearly I've got to put some stickers on there. So, or steal them from April, as everyone was suggesting. So anyhow, that's been my week. The last couple of weeks for me. It is Friday. I just want a quick shout out to the last guest. So I missed a couple of Fridays within Convo with, but Rolf, fantastic guest a couple of weeks back now. If you've missed that video, please do go and get it. Go and check it out. We talked to Rolf Schutenolf, ground careers, personal development. We talk about chaos engineering on Azure. It's a great conversation. Go and check that out if you're interested. But tonight, I've got the wonderful Keith Atherton joining me. And again, we talk about careers. We talk about personal development, skilling, and keeping on top of those learnings, and a lot more. Really fun chat, interesting chat with Keith. He's a great guy in the community. Really look forward to catching up with Keith again. Done a few bits and pieces with him over the last year or so. But do go and check that out. It's 6:30 p.m. BST tonight on the YouTubes. And that's it for Jonnychipz on the side. Let's head back on over. Okay, so without further ado then, let's just get into the Azure news and updates for this week. Hello and welcome to the Azure news and updates of the week. Okay, so I've been away for a little while. I'm not going to go back through the last 3 weeks worth of updates, so that would probably take another hour in itself. So without further ado, I think we've got about a dozen or so updates for this week alone. So let's just crack on and go through, see what we've got announced this week then. So first up, public preview, encrypt storage accounts with cross-tenant customer managed keys. So Microsoft have announced that they're going to be releasing this availability to encrypt storage accounts with custom managed keys using the key Azure Key Vault hosted on a different Active Directory tenant. So you can use this solution to encrypt your customers' data using an encryption key managed by your customers, but from a different tenant if that's what you need to do. So interesting concept. That's in public preview. Go and check that out if that's something that you might need to do. Next up, a GA announcement, new Azure virtual machines with Ampere Ultra ARM-based processors. So there's a general purpose DPS v5 and DPDS v5 Azure Virtual Machine series that can run popular Linux enterprise workloads such as web and application services, open source databases, Java and .NET applications, gaming, media servers, and much, much more. New VMs provide up to 4 gigs of memory per vCPU in sizes with up to 64 vCPUs and 208 gig of memory and 40 gig per second networking with and without local temporary storage. So look, there's a whole release about these series of VMs. They go from fairly small and compact right the way through to quite beefy size VMs if that's of interest to you. So that's great to see that they're now generally available. More generally available is Azure Data Explorer Custo emulator. So that Custo query language, if you like, is used for querying, for monitoring, and things like Sentinel, and using them in runbooks to query lots of logs and things like that in tables. So the Custo emulator is a Docker container encapsulating the Custo query engine, available locally in a Docker container. So this was designed to enable local development and automated testing, and is a free offering under specific license terms. So automated testing can be done using the Custo emulator without having to provision an Azure service and without any connection to the internet. So it can be an efficient way to use the Custo query engine for any automation testing and things like that, and local development can be done without the need of that internet connection. So that's really interesting, and there are licensing terms, but it's free. So go and check that out if you're in that environment and looking to do some testing using Custo. Public preview, Stream Analytics no-code editor updates. Okay, so we've got a few updates of the no-code editor, which is this kind of drag and drop, point and click and drag the pipes and joins together. Support for new output sync to the Azure SQL database. Support data enrichment scenario with reference data input sources from SQL database. They've added runtime logs with diagnostic logs for troubleshooting, and the UI has been refreshed with a new ribbon design to categorize inputs, outputs, and any operations. So this bit here, great to see. Go and check that out. Okay, next up, generally available, authenticate to service bus using managed identity. So Stream Analytics, why are they? Stream Analytics allows you to use managed identities in authentication mode when connecting to Azure Service Bus using topics. Yeah, okay, so it's that connection piece between something like Stream Analytics as a service and Service Bus when it's sending messages over to that Service Bus. So that it solves a common challenge when building cloud applications related to credential management. So keeping the credentials secure is important, shouldn't be stored in the developer workstations or checked into source control. So there's those managed identities can now be used for that purpose. Azure Database PostgreSQL output in Stream Analytics. Cool. We've got managed private endpoint support to Synapse SQL output. Again, more Stream Analytics updates and GA announcements. Next up, GA is up to 45% performance gains in stream processing. So Microsoft have announced up to a 45% performance boost for CPU-intensive jobs by default. This improvement allows you to reduce the number of streaming units assigned to such jobs and save on costs without impacting on any kind of performance. So there's a few little graphs there. There's no additional information on there, but it's an announcement. So there's some performance updates there. Great to see. Resource instance rules for access to Azure storage. So resource instance rules enable secure connectivity to a storage account by restricting access to specific resources of select Azure services. With instance rules, you can configure your storage account to only allow access from specific resource instances of such Azure services like Synapse offers analytical capabilities that cannot be deployed into a virtual network. So if your Synapse workspace uses these kinds of capabilities, you can configure a resource instance rule to run on a secured storage account to only allow traffic from that particular Synapse workspace. So yeah, great to see. So resource instance rules for access to storage accounts. In development, so new options to bring your licenses to a partner's cloud. Yeah, this caught my eye the other day, actually. So I've not read this in any great detail at the moment, but starting October, Microsoft are going to be implementing significant upgrades to their outsourcing and hosting terms that will benefit customers worldwide. There's actually a link to a page that goes into a little bit of more detail. You probably can't see very well on the screen here, but easily bring your licenses to the cloud. There's a whole heap of different things like flexible virtualization benefits to customers that are going to greatly expand customer choice when they're looking to outsource. What else are we doing? There's more options for software assurance or subscription licenses to license Windows Server on virtual core basis. Making it easier to virtualize Windows 10 or 11 by eliminating the VDA add-on license as part of Microsoft 365. So that's great to see those kinds of things. And then there's under the flexible virtualization benefit, customers can work with partners in cloud solution provider program to get pre-built hosted desktop and server solutions and either bring their own license or get a license from a partner. So it's great to see there's a whole heap of different licensing options coming, and that's in development at the moment. So they're not quite there yet. Follow the Microsoft Partner blog to get some more news and updates on that. But for now, that's been our Azure news and updates for the week. Okay, so yeah, that's it for now. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. Like I say, have a great weekend. Enjoy the coming week in work, whatever you're up to, whether you're on holiday. There's it's September now, so I think all the holidays are starting to simmer down with the kids getting back to school and that sort of stuff. But look, enjoy. Hope you've had a fantastic summer. It's coming into winter now. The nights are drawing in. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the following week, and I will catch you all next week. See you all very soon.